Traveling through the world of Zhu Xian, Jiang Feng became an ordinary disciple by joining the Qingyun sect. Simultaneously awaken the check.in system, and you can receive rewards for checking in anywhere. Sign in at the Demon Abyss and obtain the Supreme Sword Bone. Sign in at Jinma Peak and obtain the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. Sign in at Tongtian Peak and receive the Geng Gold Divine Sword Award. Sign in at Dazhu Peak and receive the Perfect Foundation Pill. Sign in at Xiaofan and gain Dream Nerve. In this way, Jiang Feng stayed at Qingyun Gate for 300 years and was known as the Sleeping Taoist due to his constant sleepiness. One day, the demon ancestor broke through the seal and led thousands of demons to besiege Qingyun Gate, leaving no one invincible. Just as the disciples of Qingyun's sect were in despair, a peerless sword light descended from the sky, instantly killing the demon ancestor. Keywords of the novel. Qingyun sign in for 300 years, I became a peerless sword immortal with no pop-ups. Qingyun sign in for 300 years, I became a peerless sword immortal with no pop-ups. Qingyun sign in for 300 years, TXT complete collection download. Qingyun sign in for 300 years, I became a peerless sword immortal latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Worshipping the Sword Bone of Qingyun Supreme, for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Worshipping the Sword Bone of Qingyun Supreme, for collection, the land of the Central Plains, the Qingyun Mountains. This mountain stretches for thousands of miles, with undulating peaks and 7 peaks at its highest. The 7 peaks rise high into the clouds, and on weekdays, only white clouds surround the mountainside, unaware of the true appearance of the mountaintop. Qingyun Mountain is densely covered with forests, waterfalls and peculiar rocks, and rare birds and beasts. In many places, the scenery is secluded, perilous, and majestic, famous all over the world. In the Qingyun Mountains, there stand countless magnificent tall buildings and palaces. Like a blessed land of immortals, it is truly amazing. At this moment, in the Sanqing Hall, the head of the Qingyun Gate's 7 meridians and the head of the Taoist Xuanzhen are all sitting in the main hall. And in the center of the main hall, there are 3 boys who appear to be only about 10 years old kneeling. Junior brothers, in the case of Caomiao village, only these 3 teenagers are left. Since this matter is under the jurisdiction of our Qingyun sect, let's take them all under Qingyun sect's jurisdiction. In the main hall, at the top, Dao Xian, dressed in a fairy-like demeanor and character, spoke up. As soon as the mysterious words were spoken, the heads of each peak in the main hall were all boys looking towards the sword eyebrow star in the middle. In the realm of cultivation, the talent of a cultivator is extremely important. As a cultivation sect, Qingyun sect naturally has a deep understanding of this. A genius suddenly realizes in a day, comparable to an ordinary person practicing for 100 years. Among the 3 boys, the boy in the middle is undoubtedly the most talented, and all the leaders want to bring him into their families. But the 2 teenagers next to them were ignored. Watching this scene, the little boy on the right, also known as Jiang Feng, clenched his right fist slightly, feeling a bit unwilling in his heart. He is a traveler who traveled to this world 10 days ago. After fusing the memories in his mind, Jiang Feng learned that in this world, there were demons rampant and dangers lurking everywhere. When he found out that he was in Caomiao village, his childhood playmates were actually Zhang Xiaofan and Lin Jingyu. Jiang Feng concluded that he had traveled to the world of Zhu Xian. But with Jiang Feng's inquiry, he found that it didn't seem so simple. Some legends circulating in this world seem to be different from the world of Zhu Xian that I have seen. However, there is no way to know exactly where it is different, given Jiang Feng's current identity. Having read the original work in his past life, Jiang Feng naturally knew about the tragedy in Caomiao village. Therefore, after seeing the old monk Puji come to Caomiao village, he went to hide outside the village early for a night to save his life. The protagonist is an orphan. Afterwards, he, along with Zhang Xiaofan and Lin Jingyu, was taken by disciples of Qingyun Gate to Qingyun Gate. Therefore, there is now a scene. Now, Jiang Feng knows that his physical talent is very poor. Even worse than Zhang Xiaofan. Senior brother leader, I have always had a small population in Dazhufeng. This time, I will solve one for senior brother leader. At this moment, Tian Bai, the head of Dazhufeng, stood up and pointed to Lin Jingyu in the middle, saying. At the same time, Shang Zhengliang, the first building of Chaoyang Peak, also followed suit. Senior brother, this kid is destined for me at first sight. I plan to take this kid as my disciple. Upon seeing this, the first Tianyun Taoist from Tianyun Peak spoke up. Senior brother Shang, you already have over 200 disciples. Isn't it true that everyone has a connection with you? Tian Bai saw that Shang Zhengliang was about to compete with him, and immediately blew his beard and glared. Tianyun junior brother is right. You have 200 disciples, why bother mixing in? The 7 veins of Qingyun gate seem to be in harmony, but secretly they compete with each other. Everyone wants a peerless genius to emerge from his lineage. And Lin Jingyu's talent in front of him can be said to be 1 in a million, naturally meeting their standards in their hearts. At this moment, the first Sangsong Taoist on Longzhou Peak also stood up and arched his hand at the Taoist Immortal. Senior brother, this child has exceptional talent and must be given the best environment to grow. Otherwise, his talent will be wasted. Therefore, I want him to join my sect and personally accept him as my disciple. Seeing the presence of Taoist Sangsong, Tian Bai's face immediately turned ugly. Sangsong Taoist is the highest ranking person here, except for the Taoist Xuanzhen who is in charge of the sect. And his dragon head peak is extremely outstanding, with many geniuses. This time, when the Taoist Sangsong comes forward, the senior brother in charge of teaching is likely to give him this face and give Lin Jingyu to him. Sure enough, the next moment I saw that Dao Xian was only pondering for a moment, so I nodded and whispered softly. Since junior brother Sangsong is willing to accept him as his disciple, then I'll leave this child to you. Upon hearing this, the conservative face of Sangsong Taoist rarely showed a smile. Thank you very much, senior brother leader. Tian Bai felt a burst of anger upon seeing this, but at this moment, the senior brother in charge had already spoken, and the dragon head peak was coming with great momentum. He didn't say much either. After assigning Lin Jingyu, Dao Xian paused and continued. So the remaining 2 children. Upon hearing Dao Xuan's words, Taoist Tianyun stared closely at the ceiling in the main hall. It seems as if there is something mysterious above. But Tian Bai yawned and looked drowsy. And Shang Zhengliang simply took out a martial arts secret book and began to study it. The heads of each peak are known, but the remaining Zhang Xiaofan and Jiang Feng have extremely poor talents. If I were to take them in, it would only drag me down, and no one would be willing to take them both. Seeing this scene, although Jiang Feng's face did not show any signs, his heart was extremely bitter. Why are other travelers always born with divine bodies or supreme bones, while their own qualifications are despised by others? Seeing this scene, Dao Xuan's face couldn't help but feel a bit embarrassed. But Qingyun Gate is a righteous ox ear, and we cannot claim to be rejected because these 2 children have poor qualifications. That will undoubtedly damage the reputation of Qingyun sect. After a moment of silence, Dao Xuan's mind began to take notice. He first looked at the head of Dazhu Peak, Tian Bai. Tian junior brother, the population of Dazhufeng has always been sparse. You can choose one of these 2 children. Upon hearing this, Tian Bai suddenly felt anxious and evaded. Senior brother leader, I. However, Dao Xian did not give him any chance and interrupted him. This Zhang Xiaofan was first discovered by your disciple of Dazhu Peak. Let him worship your Dazhu Peak. As for Jiang Feng, I have my own arrangements. Alright, that's all for now. The case of Caomiao village needs to be investigated as soon as possible, junior brothers. The heads of the group all answered, I will strictly abide by the teachings of the sect leader and senior brother. After Dao Xian finished speaking, he didn't give everyone an opportunity to explain. He immediately waved his right hand and disappeared into the Sanqing Hall with Jiang Feng. After a moment, Dao Xian took Jiang Feng to a mountain peak and stopped. "Jiang Feng, would you like to stay in the Zhenhua Peak and guard the Zhenhua Abyss?" Dao Xian looked at Jiang Feng, who was a bit nervous, and slowly spoke up. "Zhenmo Yuan." Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was somewhat puzzled. The Qingyun Gate in the original work did not have this place. But soon Jiang Feng realized that the world of Zhu Xian was a bit different, and everything couldn't be done according to the original work. Seeing Jiang Feng's puzzled expression, Dao Xian patiently explained everything about Zhenmo Yuan to him. After listening to Dao Xuan's explanation for a moment, Jiang Feng couldn't help but be shaken and swallowed his saliva. Originally, Zhenhua Yuan was the place where Qingyun Gate suppressed demons. Inside, there is a demon-suppressing formation set up by the founder of Qingyun Gate, suppressing countless powerful demons. But also because countless demons are suppressed in the demon control abyss, and every time it's time, the demonic energy rises to the sky. If invaded by demonic energy, there is a high possibility of losing consciousness and falling into the demon realm. Therefore, Zhenhua Yuan can be said to be the most dangerous place in the entire Qingyun Gate. Of course, Qingyun Gate has also taken many measures to deal with these demons. Otherwise, Dao Xian wouldn't have sent a newly introduced disciple to the demon abyss. "I am willing to stay in the demon abyss." Thinking of this, Jiang Feng didn't hesitate too much and agreed directly. Although Zhenhua Abyss is a bit dangerous, no one is willing to accept themselves as disciples, it's better than being kicked out of Qingyun Gate. In this world, demons run rampant, and human life is like grass. Rather than being constantly anxious outside, it's better to live in this Qingyun Gate. No big deal, just be a lifelong salted fish. Without hesitation, Jiang Feng agreed directly, and Dao Xian nodded in satisfaction. Although this child has poor talent, he has a decent temperament and may be entrusted with important responsibilities in the future. Okay, you can stay at Zhenhua Peak and familiarize yourself with the environment for now. Later, a senior will come to guide you. After speaking, Dao Xian waved his long sleeve and immediately rose into the air, leaving Zhenhua Peak. Seeing this, Jiang Feng sighed helplessly and then came to the center of Zhenhua Peak, where Zhenhua Abyss was located, as if he had resigned himself. Just as Jiang Feng arrived at the Zhenhua Abyss, a cold voice rang out in his mind. "Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully activating the invincible check.in system." System. As an earthling, Jiang Feng naturally knows what a system is. Mo Fei, this is his golden finger. With this in mind, Jiang Feng muttered directly to himself, "System, what's your use?" Ding, this system can sign in once a day. The more special the location, the higher the sign in reward. Some places can be checked in repeatedly, while others can only be checked in once. Moreover, for locations with repeated check.in, the first check.in reward is the best. After listening to the system's explanation, Jiang Feng immediately understood the role of the check.in system and was excited in his heart. You can receive rewards by signing in, and no matter when or where. This system is simply God. It's so awesome. At present, Jiang Feng didn't hesitate at all and silently said to himself, "System, sign in at the Zhenhua Abyss." Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and obtaining the Supreme Sword Bone. P.S. I recommend a book with a villainous style called Me, the Villain's Wealthy and Handsome, specializing in killing the son of Qiyun. At the beginning, I fell asleep at the fiancée of Qiyun's son Xiaoyan. The author has excellent driving skills, so please hurry up and get in the car. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Apprenticement to Nangong and First Understanding of Immortal Cultivation, Seeking Tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Apprenticement to Nangong and First Understanding of Immortal Cultivation, Seeking Tickets, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and obtaining the Supreme Sword Bone. The Supreme Sword Bone. What is this thing that sounds very impressive? Upon hearing the sound of the system, Jiang Feng's heart immediately moved, checking the information of the Supreme Sword Bone. The Supreme Sword Bone is an unparalleled creation nurtured by heaven and earth. After merging with the Supreme Sword Bone, any swordsmanship and techniques can be learned instantly, and the ultimate level can be achieved in a short period of time. Lying Trough. This Supreme Sword Bone, the Ox Batch. After reading the information about the Supreme Sword Bone, Jiang Feng was immediately excited. As long as you merge this Supreme Sword Bone, you will become a peerless genius in swordsmanship. Moreover, Qingyun sect is a cultivation sect mainly focused on swordsmanship and techniques. This Supreme Sword Bone is simply tailored for oneself. As long as he fuses this Supreme Sword Bone, he can completely transform from a useless material to a peerless genius. Excited in his heart, Jiang Feng immediately wanted to merge the Supreme Sword Bone now. But after looking at the surrounding environment, I decided to take a break first. It's broad daylight now, and I'm not familiar with this town Demon Peak. I'm not sure if there are any outsiders. It would be terrible if someone could see a strange image when fusing the Supreme Sword Bone. There are so many experts in Qingyun sect that if you are discovered, you may be treated as a spy of the demon sect. After some thought, Jiang Feng decided to focus on low-key development. Sign in secretly, become stronger secretly, and wait until you are invincible before going out. Just checking in at the demon abyss and receiving the Supreme Sword Bone, wouldn't the reward be even more incredible if you were to sign in at a more special place? Thinking of this, Jiang Feng's heart not only grew more hopeful. Next, Jiang Feng began to wander around the entire Zhenhua Peak, familiarizing himself with the environment and finding a place for himself to spend the night. There are no buildings on the Demon Peak in this town, so I can't sleep outdoors. In that case, if I show any abnormality in the future, I might be discovered by others. A moment later, Jiang Feng found a cave near the Zhenhua Abyss. Is there still someone living here? Looking at the dimly lit cave in front of him, Jiang Feng couldn't help but speculate in his heart. Child, are you the new disciple? Just as Jiang Feng was thinking in his heart, an old voice slowly came out from the cave. Is there really someone? Upon hearing the sound, Jiang Feng was immediately startled, but then he also realized that this should be the senior of Qingyun sect who is currently guarding the Zhenhua Yuan. After all, I haven't been exposed to cultivation yet, so it's impossible to send myself to guard the demon abyss alone. Subsequently, Jiang Feng walked into the dark cave and saw an elderly man wearing an ordinary Taoist robe sitting upright on a rock. The old man's gaze was murky, and his vitality was constantly emerging. Obviously, time was running out. I have seen the senior disciple. Without much thought, Jiang Feng directly bowed to the old man and said, in the realm of cultivation, etiquette is the most important, and Jiang Feng naturally does not want to leave a bad impression on the elderly. Well, since the head senior brother has sent you over, you can follow me from now on. Sure enough, seeing Jiang Feng's respectful attitude, the old man was very satisfied and immediately said with some appreciation, would you be willing to learn from me? Apprentice. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was immediately pleasantly surprised and decisively knelt down on the ground, saying, disciple Jiang Feng has seen the master. No matter what the cultivation of the old man in front of me is, worshipping him as a teacher is not harmful to me. Moreover, in the future, I will be covered by a master at Qingyun Gate. Jiang Feng, is this your name? Good disciple, let's call you Fenger after becoming a teacher. The old man showed a kind smile on his face and slowly spoke, although this town of Demon Abyss is usually dull, its status is not much different from that of other peaks. Master, this is my first time coming to Qingyun Gate and also the first time I have learned about the Demon Abyss in this town. Can you explain it to me? Upon hearing the old man's words, Jiang Feng was immediately surprised. Is there any other secret to guarding the demon abyss? Upon hearing this, the old man nodded and slowly spoke, anyway, I'll tell you all about this sooner or later. Subsequently, the old man began to explain to Jiang Feng some secrets about Chenma Abyss and the cultivation world. Originally, the demon control formation in this demon control abyss has become very fragile after countless years of erosion. We need to constantly check and repair every day, and replenish energy every month to maintain the formation. Therefore, this town of Demon Abyss must always be guarded by someone. Because of this, every generation of Qingyun Gate cultivates a demon-suppressing envoy to guard the demon-suppressing abyss. This demon-suppressing envoy does not require high talent or strong strength, but he must dedicate his entire life to this demon-suppressing abyss, and cannot leave it in this lifetime. Of course, if there is an order from the leader to transfer, it is an exception. Each generation of the demon-suppressing envoy is a single lineage, so the identity of the demon-suppressing envoy is very special and highly respected in the Qingyun sect. The old man in front of me is the demon-suppressing envoy of this generation, named Nangong. In terms of seniority, Nangong can be called Xuanzhen's senior brother. Through continuous inquiries, Jiang Feng has also gained a preliminary understanding of this world. According to Nangong, the cultivation realms in this world, from low to high, are the spiritual realm, the foundation realm, the golden pill realm, the primordial baby realm, the divine realm, the combination realm, the dharma phase realm, the crossing calamity realm, and the divine void realm. And each realm is divided into 4 levels: early, middle, late, and perfect. However, these realms are specific to the entire continent. At Qingyun Gate, there is a different saying about the cultivation realm. That is to transform the 9 realms into the Jade Clear realm, the Upper Clear realm, and the Taiqing realm. The Jade Clear realm includes the spiritual realm, foundation building realm, and golden core realm. The Shangqing realm includes Yuaning realm, Huashan realm, and Hehe realm. The Taiqing realm includes the Faxiang realm, the Dujie realm, and the Shinshu realm. And these realms are all divided into 9 levels. From the mouth of Nangong, Jiang Feng learned that the major capitals of Qingyun Gate are all in the realm of Shangqing realm. And Nangong in front of me, who is now my master, is still in the perfect state of Yuqing realm. I have to say, my master's qualifications are really poor. However, if my qualifications are not bad, I wouldn't be sent here to guard the demon abyss. Feng'er, master has been guarding this town of Moyuan for nearly 400 years, and in the future, you may have to rely on yourself. After popularizing some common knowledge about the cultivation world to Jiang Feng, Nangong suddenly looked at him with some emotion. 400 years. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was taken aback and immediately looked at Nangong with a somewhat complicated expression in his eyes. According to the common knowledge of the cultivation world that Nangong had previously popularized to him, as the level of cultivation increases, the lifespan of the cultivator will also increase. The spiritual realm is not much different from ordinary people, and can only live for 100 years. After breaking through the foundation building barrier, the lifespan has been improved, and one can live to around 200 years old. And the golden core realm can live to around 400 years old. After becoming a great cultivator in the Yuaning realm, one's lifespan will be significantly improved, reaching 800 years old. Those who possess the power of transforming the divine realm have a lifespan of over 1,000 years. As for the higher integration realm, one can live for at least 2,000 years. Nangong only has a cultivation level in the golden elixir realm, and he has been guarding the demon abyss for 400 years. Isn't that feeling Jiang Feng's gaze? Nangong wooden man grew old and refined, naturally knowing his thoughts. He smiled casually and said, "Not bad, I really don't have many years left to live as a teacher, but I have enough to live as a teacher." Having been guarding this demon abyss for 400 years, Nangong Mushin has no hope in his heart, so naturally there is nothing to cherish. Feng'er, in the future, you must study hard. After the teacher's death, this town of Demon Abyss will be officially handed over to you. Nangong Mu looked at Jiang Feng and earnestly explained. P.S. I recommend a good book. The author has excellent driving skills, and all the old fans should gather quickly. I, the villain, am rich and handsome, specializing in killing the son of Qingyun. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. The duty of suppressing demons and opening up caverns, seeking tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. The duty of suppressing demons and opening up caverns, seeking tickets, is there only a few years of lifespan left. Looking at the scattered Nangong wood at this moment, Jiang Feng suddenly felt a hint of unwillingness in his heart. The cultivation of immortality is originally about going against the sky, practicing hard for hundreds of years, and ultimately there will be a day when one's life comes to an end. Is this your future destiny? No way. I absolutely don't want this. Suddenly, a hint of determination flashed in Jiang Feng's eyes. It's rare to travel through a scene, and I can't just live a life like this. I have my own system, as long as I develop in a low-key way, one day I can reach the realm of eternal life, immortality. People will eventually die, and you don't have to think too much, kid. Nangong Mu didn't notice the thoughts in Jiang Feng's heart. He smiled and looked at Jiang Feng, slowly getting up and saying, now, I'll teach you how to cultivate first. My Qingyun sect is all about practicing Tai Chi Xianqing Dao. Today, I will first teach you the Jade Clear chapter of Tai Chi Xianqing Dao. The Tai Chi Xianqing Dao is the foundation of all the miraculous techniques and techniques of Qingyun sect. It was comprehended by the founder of Qingyun sect, Qingyun, in an unnamed ancient scroll. After careful study by the masters of Qingyun sect throughout history, it has become an unparalleled and mysterious Tao that captures the creation of heaven and earth. Under the guidance of Nangong Mu, Jiang Feng was able to gain a preliminary understanding of the cultivation method of immortality. After teaching the Tai Chi Xianqing Dao Yuqing chapter, Nangong Mu explained some of the responsibilities of the demon-suppressing envoy to Jiang Feng. As the demon-suppressing envoy, it's nothing more than checking and repairing the demon-suppressing formation every day. As long as there are methods, these are not difficult things. Just because there are demons colliding with the Zhenhua abyss every day, causing damage to the formation, it is necessary to check for any defects in the formation every day. Moreover, the demon-suppressing envoy should always pay attention to the demonic energy flowing out of the demon-suppressing abyss. If invaded by the demonic energy, they will directly fall into the demon realm. For tens of thousands of years, countless powerful demons have been sealed in this town's demon abyss, and the formation inside has become somewhat fragile under the collision of countless demons. According to the current trend, one day in the future, this demon suppression formation will be directly broken through. At that time, countless demons inside will break through the formation and bring great calamity to Qingyun Gate. Over the years, the 7 veins of Qingyun Gate have been refined according to the secret method left by their ancestors, using the original crystal stones to provide energy for the demon suppression formation, which is why the formation can continue to be maintained. For thousands of years, there may have been lingering troubles, and everyone at Qingyun Gate has been thinking about how to solve the demons in the Zhenhua abyss. However, after so long, there is still no clue. Alright, let's talk to you so much today. After about an hour, Nangong Mu stopped talking. Come on, I'll help you open up a cave next to me first. Speaking, Nangong Mu stood up and walked straight towards the outside of the cave. Opening up a cave. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was overjoyed. He thought he would live with Nangong Mu in the future. If that's the case, wouldn't it be useless to keep any secrets? With your own independent cave, you can also do things conveniently in the future. Feeling secretly happy in his heart, Jiang Feng immediately followed Nangong Mu to the outside of the cave. Fenger, where do you plan to establish a cave? After leaving the cave, Nangong Mu looked at Jiang Feng and asked. It has to be said that Nangong Mu is a very good master, even seeking Jiang Feng's opinion on such small matters. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng looked at it and pointed to the opposite side of Zhenmo Yuan, saying, "Master, I think the scenery over there is pretty good. I want to build the cave on the opposite side." The location pointed out by Jiang Feng happened to be separated from the cave of Nangong Mu by a Zhenmo abyss. This was carefully considered by Jiang Feng, and the void where the demon abyss were located was filled with various chaotic forces. And Jiang Feng happened to use these chaotic forces to cover up some of the anomalies he would cause in the future. "Where?" "That's okay, but without my company, you can't get too close to the demon abyss." Looking at the position pointed by Jiang Feng, Nangong Mu pondered for a moment before slowly speaking. After speaking, Nangong Mu grabbed Jiang Feng's right arm and headed straight into the air, quickly arriving at the other end of the Zhenmo abyss. "Fenger, please step away." After landing, Nangong Mu took out a sword from the space ring and then drove it towards the mountain wall. Boom! 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 Pinching the Dharma decision, Nangong Mu fired several sword lights towards the mountain wall in a row. In this way, in Jiang Feng's gaze, a slightly rough cave was opened up by Nangong Mu. Is this the means of cultivators? Watching Nangong Mu wield his sword, which could easily cause such great damage, Jiang Feng's heart grew increasingly eager to embark on the path of cultivating immortality. "Fenger, this will be your cave from now on. You can tell me what you need." The cave was successfully opened, and Nangong Mu withdrew his sword and slowly said to Jiang Feng, "Well, thank you very much, master, disciple." Looking at Nangong Mu, Jiang Feng spoke with a somewhat sincere tone. After arriving in this world, the cheap master Nangong Mu in front of him was considered the best person to him, which made him feel grateful in his heart. "Alright, you should tidy up your cave first." A silver ring appeared in Nangong Mu's hand and he handed it to Jiang Feng, saying, "This is a space ring. You can use it by dripping blood to recognize the master. It can be considered as a meeting gift from my teacher to you." Space ring. Looking at the silver ring in Nangong Mu's hand, Jiang Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. "I didn't expect to receive the space ring on my first day of joining Qingyun Gate." The space ring is also considered a valuable item in the cultivation world, and it is very common for people to have it in casual cultivation. In the sect, only those high-level beings and disciples with extremely outstanding talents can possess it. And Jiang Feng was able to obtain the space ring on his first day of apprenticeship because of his master Nangong Mu. The lineage of the demon-suppressing envoy has always been a single lineage. What is in Nangong Mu's hand, who can pass it on to without passing it on to Jiang Feng? "Thank you, master." Jiang Feng happily took the space ring from Nangong Mu's hand and expressed gratitude. Nangong Mu nodded and then rose up to return to his cave. And Jiang Feng looked at his rough-looking cave, with a smile on his face. "Next, go ahead. P.S. Recommend a hot-blooded fantasy book. The whole book is free, fantasy. Sign in at the beginning of the game and swallow the Heavenly Demon Technique, Introduction. Rebirth into a different world, become a disciple of the Holy Land, and receive a sign-in system at the beginning, with rewards upon signing in. Sign in to obtain the Swallowing Heaven Demon skill, Swallowing Heaven and Earth, and Refining 10,000 Laws. Sign in to obtain the Ancient Holy Body, Unparalleled and Invincible. Sign in to obtain Ultimate Sword Drawing Technique, 10 times Burst, and the sword cleaves the sky. Sign in to obtain the Mighty Heavenly Dragon, the Heavenly Treasure of the Buddha, and the Prajnaparamita Buddhas. Let's see Chu Feng, with invincible resources, sweeping across 9 heavens and 10 territories, suppressing contemporary times. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Fusion of Sword Bone Cultivation and Immortal Cultivation, Ticket Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Fusion of Sword Bone Cultivation and Immortal Cultivation, Ticket Seeking, Qingyun Gate, Zhenma Peak. At night, a full moon shines brightly above the sky. From time to time, strange and piercing roars could be heard above the pitch-black Xinhua abyss, and various chaotic forces flowed about. At night, this town of Demon Abyss is like a chaotic dance of demons. At this moment, not far from Xinhua Yuan, Jiang Feng looked at the slightly distorted void in the Xinhua Yuan area and exclaimed in surprise. Listening to the roar coming from the void, Jiang Feng couldn't help feeling a chill in his heart. At night, these demons couldn't resist loneliness and began to charge towards the demon suppression formation one by one. And in the hour of Zishur, there will be a surge of demons. At that time, the entire vicinity of Xinhua Abyss will be shrouded in demonic energy. Those with insufficient cultivation will only be invaded by demonic energy in a moment, completely falling into the demon realm. Watching the increasingly strong demonic aura in the void, Jiang Feng unconsciously took a few steps back. No, I need to improve my strength as soon as possible, otherwise I wouldn't know I would have been invaded by these demonic energies that day. With lingering palpitations, Jiang Feng headed towards the well-prepared cave that had been cleaned up today. Just now, he was returning from his master Nangong Mu's cave. After personally serving Nangong Mu and falling asleep, Jiang Feng returned to his own cave. It's already late at night now, he can confidently merge the Supreme Sword Bone. Nangong Mu's longevity is about to run out. Although he has the peak strength of Yuqing realm, his abilities in all aspects seem to have regressed. In addition, with the cover of the chaotic power above the demon abyss, even if it causes some anomalies, it cannot disturb Nangong Mu. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng returned directly to his cave and sat down on a blue stone. System, begin to merge, Supreme Sword Bone. After calming down his body, Jiang Feng said to the system in his heart. Ding, start fusing the Supreme Sword Bone. As the mechanical sound of the system sounded, Jiang Feng saw a sword-shaped bone shimmering with golden light, engraved with dense mystical runes, suddenly piercing into his body. This is the Supreme Sword Bone, which is beginning to merge with him at this moment. At the moment when the Supreme Sword Bone penetrated into Jiang Feng's body, a dazzling golden light suddenly flickered from his body. At the same time, Jiang Feng only felt his body becoming hot, and his meridians, pores, bones, and flesh underwent earth-shattering changes with the integration of the Supreme Sword Bone. A stunning mysterious aura immediately swept across the entire cave. At this moment, Jiang Feng began to emit an extremely fierce aura from his body. He seemed to transform into a divine sword, so fierce that the sword intent surged out of him. Part of the sword's intent dissipates, and wherever it passes, it cuts through gold and stones. Even the demonic energy above the demon abyss has been suppressed. At this moment, Jiang Feng felt like he had completely transformed into a divine sword, with sword energy soaring to the sky. I don't know how long this feeling lasted, but after everything calmed down, Jiang Feng slowly opened his eyes. This feeling. So satisfying. Feeling the situation inside his body, Jiang Feng realized that his physical body had undergone a complete transformation. After integrating the Supreme Sword Bone into his physical body, he directly assimilated his physical body. At this moment, his whole body, bones, flesh and blood, and even his soul are all scattered with the charm of a sword. Despicable, for swordsmanship, he felt a sense of clarity in his thoughts, and various swordsmanship insights surged in his heart. If there is a sword technique in hand at this moment, Jiang Feng has the confidence to master it in an instant and cultivate it to the realm of great success. This is the terrifying swordsmanship talent he possesses after fusing the Supreme Sword Bone. Nowadays, he is no longer the despised cultivation waste material. From now on, he possesses the highest level of swordsmanship cultivation talent in this world. He will become a peerless swordsman. Moreover, after merging the Supreme Sword Bone, Jiang Feng made another discovery that surprised him even more. At this moment, he unexpectedly discovered that there was a spiritual energy surging in his body, walking in the sky. Spiritual power automatic. This is truly a manifestation of entering the spiritual phase. That's right, after merging the Supreme Sword Bone, Jiang Feng's cultivation has actually reached the spiritual stage. Moreover, he directly jumped to become a mid-level cultivator in the spiritual realm. It's unbelievable to cross two realms in one fell swoop. This, Supreme Sword Bone, is indeed an object that defies heaven and is full of creation. I think I can come up with a way to cultivate a sword technique and see how strong my talent is after integrating the Supreme Sword Bone. At this moment, Jiang Feng was eagerly looking forward to practicing a swordsmanship. But how to obtain swordsmanship is so difficult for him. He only learned martial arts from Nangong yesterday. If he goes to ask for swordsmanship today, it will definitely make Nangong suspicious. So this is not appropriate. Yes, it's already the second day and I can sign in again. At this moment, Jiang Feng realized that it had taken him a night to merge the Supreme Sword Bone. Now, it's already the next morning and you can sign in again. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng immediately did not hesitate and directly recited to the system in his heart, "System, sign in at Jinma Peak." Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Divine Sword Thunder Protection Technique. The reward has been distributed in the system space, please check it yourself. Upon hearing the sound of the system, Jiang Feng instinctively looked into the system space, and suddenly a mysterious message flooded into his mind. Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. It is an unparalleled miraculous technique in Taoist immortality, which can absorb thousands of thunderbolts for personal use. Mnemonic. The nine heavens' mysterious temple transforms into divine thunder. Glorious heavenly might, use sword to lead it. Surprisingly, it is the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. Seeing that the reward he signed in for this time was actually the most famous swordsmanship of Qingyun Gate, Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique, Jiang Feng was suddenly surprised in his heart. I was just in need of a sword technique to practice, but unexpectedly, I came to the door, Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. When reading the original work, Jiang Feng was fascinated by this, Divine Sword and Thunder Control Technique. This, Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique, can't help but pull the wind with its moves, which is very suitable for pretending to be coerced. Most importantly, this sword technique is incredibly powerful. When it is unleashed, it is like a heavenly calamity, possessing extremely terrifying destructive power. Such exquisite and unparalleled swordsmanship is simply tailor-made for oneself. Jiang Feng was excited in his heart, looking at the early weather, and immediately prepared to start practicing the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. Subsequently, Jiang Feng began to examine the cultivation method of the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. The Divine Sword Thunder Technique will naturally lay an invisible shield next to the caster through divine weapons during casting, triggering the ultimate power of heaven and earth with one's own body. The divine weapon's sharp blade will be used to draw down the nine heavenly thunder, with dazzling divine power. When using the move, the sky will be shocked and the earth will move, and the wind and clouds will change color. It is truly unbeatable and powerful. Unconsciously, Jiang Feng's mind was already immersed in the cultivation of the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. At the same time, the sword intent was revealed on Jiang Feng's body, followed by a rapid deepening of his understanding of the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique in his mind. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Gathering of strong people in the changing colors of heaven and earth, seeking votes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Gathering of strong people in the changing colors of heaven and earth, seeking votes. So, Jiang Feng's mind was all focused on practicing the Divine Sword Thunder Control Technique. About an hour later, Jiang Feng slowly opened his eyes. At the moment Jiang Feng opened his eyes, a sharp sword light shot out of his eyes, cutting a blue stone in front of him in half. At this moment, Jiang Feng had an extremely excited expression on his face. Because now he has completely mastered the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique. In his mind, countless insights about the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique flooded into his mind, as if he had already practiced this sword technique for decades. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng stood up directly and began to operate the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique. Holding the fingerprint in his hand, Jiang Feng muttered to himself, "The 9 heavenly mysterious temples have transformed into divine thunder. The magnificent heavenly power is drawn with a sword." Just as Jiang Feng was urging the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique, a significant change occurred over the Zhenhua Peak. At this moment, the originally slightly bright sky suddenly darkened, and dark clouds suddenly appeared in the sky, surging incessantly. Thunder roared, and the edges of the black clouds kept flashing with electric light, galloping through the sky and earth, creating a solemn and fierce wind. "I'll go." Seeing the scene of the world changing color, Jiang Feng was completely bewildered. At the next moment, he forcibly interrupted the operation of the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique. And the illusion in the void also disappeared in an instant, as if it had never appeared before. Watching the world regain its brightness, Jiang Feng breathed a sigh of relief with lingering fear in his heart. He didn't expect that when the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique was activated, it would cause such a big commotion. Moreover, this Divine Sword Thunder Control technique is truly the secret that Qingyun sect does not pass down. Just that one moment ago, Jiang Feng felt that his spiritual power was completely depleted, and even his blood and energy were somewhat depleted. If this Divine Sword Thunder Control technique is really fully activated, I'm afraid I'll also be in danger. TSK, this Divine Sword Thunder Control technique is truly a divine skill for pretending to be forced. The commotion just now, when fighting, it's like blinding the enemy's eyes. Although Jiang Feng knew from reading the original work that the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique would cause a great commotion when activated, he did not expect it to cause the world to change color and create a sudden storm. Not good. Suddenly, Jiang Feng realized something and his face changed. He quickly walked over to the blue stone and sat down. Subsequently, Jiang Feng quickly adjusted his mentality and secretly operated the Jade Clear chapter of Tai Chi's mystical and pure way in his heart. The Divine Sword Thunder Control technique has caused such a stir that it will definitely attract the strong within the Qingyun sect to descend. Although Jiang Feng was confident that they would not doubt him, he decided to cover it up for safety reasons. At the same time, 7 powerful figures suddenly appeared in the void above Zhenhua Peak. It is the head of each peak of Qingyun sect and the head of the sect, Daoxian Immortal. Have you also sensed it, junior brothers and sisters? Looking at the heads of the major peaks, the Taoist Immortal spoke up directly. This aura is the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique. Feeling the lingering illusion in the void, the Taoist Sangsong's tone was somewhat focused. Isn't it Nangong junior brother? At this moment, Tianlei spoke up and said that his divine soul was exploring the cave of Nangong Mu. What can be seen is Nangong Mu, who is still sleeping. It can't be Nangong junior brother. Upon hearing this, Dao Xianzhenren shook his head and said, it seems that this person just forcefully interrupted the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique. Being able to do this person's mastery of the Divine Sword Thunder Control technique is definitely above ours. Nangong junior brother's lifespan is approaching, and he only has the highest cultivation level in the Yuqing realm, so he can't achieve these things at all. Upon hearing Dao Xuan's inference, everyone nodded in agreement. But who exactly is it? Only Nangong junior brother knows the Divine Sword and Thunder Control technique in Zhenhua Peak. Tianyun Taoist slowly spoke up, but as for Jiang Feng, who only joined Qingyun Gate yesterday, they ignored him directly. A disciple who has just started learning cannot connect him with the celestial phenomena he has just experienced. Could it be some reclusive senior? At this moment, the usually silent Master Shueiyue suddenly spoke up. In the Qingyun sect, the most powerful person on the surface should be the sect leader Dao Xianjunren. But the heads of each meridian know that there are many peerless powerhouses hidden within the sect. These unparalleled powerhouses are either the elders of the previous generation, the first, or even the former and present leaders of Qingyun sect. Upon hearing this, Dao Xian pondered for a moment before slowly nodding and saying, "This is the only possibility." The other first seats also nodded in agreement. This person has cultivated the divine sword thunder control technique to such a level of ease that they feel inferior. And to achieve such success, except for those hidden sect masters, no one else can achieve it. Since this senior doesn't want to appear, let's break up. At this moment, Dao Xian spoke up. Adhere to the teachings of the sect leader and senior brother. A group of leaders responded and then disappeared into the sky above Zhenhua Peak. In the Zhenhua Peak, about half an hour later, Jiang Feng stopped practicing and slowly opened his eyes. The person who was attracted by the divine sword thunder control technique should have left, right? Thinking in his heart, Jiang Feng couldn't help but slowly walk out of his cave. Until it was confirmed that there was no one outside, Jiang Feng returned to the cave once again. It seems that in the future, we cannot easily use the divine sword thunder control technique. Jiang Feng said with lingering fear. With his current cultivation level, it is indeed somewhat difficult for him to use the divine sword thunder control technique. Moreover, when using the divine sword thunder control technique, one must have the assistance of divine weapons. Jiang Feng doesn't even have a sword now, let alone any divine weapons. However, after practicing the divine sword thunder control technique this time, Jiang Feng's strength has not improved at all. With a thought in his heart, Jiang Feng pinched the Dharma decision in his heart, and then saw thunderous lights emerging from the void. These thunder lights were extremely dazzling. Jiang Feng's palm was spread out, and those thunder lights immediately gathered in his palm, forming a thunderball. Looking at the thunderball in his hand, Jiang Feng's eyes showed a hint of excitement. The nature contained in this thunderball is the power of thunder. When urging the divine sword thunder control technique, Jiang Feng discovered that he could easily drive some heavenly thunder power. This is a manifestation of the cultivation of the divine sword thunder technique to a perfect state. In just one night, Jiang Feng surprisingly cultivated the unparalleled sword technique of Qingyun sect, the divine sword thunder true technique, to a perfect state. This is simply shocking and unbelievable. Until now, Jiang Feng truly felt how incredible his understanding in the field of swordsmanship was after merging with the Supreme Sword Bone. The Supreme Sword Bone is truly an incredible thing, it has elevated his talent to such an abnormal level. With my current talent, I'm afraid it won't be long before I have the strength to protect myself. At this moment, Jiang Feng's eyes were filled with excitement. Just yesterday, he was still an ordinary mortal. Today, he has completely embarked on the path of cultivating immortals and possesses the best swordsmanship talent in this world. If it were someone else, I'm afraid I would be so excited. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. The later stage of Tianlei demon control, for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. The later stage of Tianlei demon control, for collection. Subsequently, Jiang Feng continued to practice the divine sword thunder control technique for a while, and only stopped when he could skillfully use the power of the heavenly thunder. Looking at the bright sky outside, Jiang Feng went straight out of his cave. Subsequently, Jiang Feng headed straight towards the nearby Zhenhua abyss. When he was about to step into the demon abyss, Jiang Feng suddenly stopped. The demons inside seemed to sense his arrival, and seeing his low cultivation level, they became malicious. I saw an extremely evil and violent aura suddenly emerge above the Zhenhua abyss. This evil aura constantly surged out of the demon abyss, gathering more and more like a storm of demonic energy. Jiang Feng looked seriously at the demonic storm in the void, with only black breath flowing through it. Even Jiang Feng vaguely heard the cries of demons. Magic energy. Looking at all of this, Jiang Feng frowned slightly and dared not approach the Zhenhua abyss for the time being. This demonic aura is so powerful that even a cultivator like his master in the Golden Elixir period would fall directly into the demon realm if invaded by the demonic aura. Fortunately, with the suppression of the demon suppression formation, this demonic aura cannot spread too far. After the thought flashed in Jiang Feng's heart, he saw a wisp of demonic energy rushing towards him from the storm of demonic energy in the void. Damn it! This wisp of demonic energy is not simple. Seeing this scene, Jiang Feng was immediately shocked in his heart. According to the rules, the stronger the magic energy, the farther it can escape from the demon abyss. Since this wisp of demonic energy can attack him, it indicates that this wisp of demonic energy is very powerful. If invaded by this wisp of demonic energy, I'm afraid I'll be doomed. By the way, the power of thunder. At this moment, Jiang Feng thought of the divine sword thunder control technique. For these demon powers, the power of thunder should be its nemesis. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng directly activated the divine sword thunder control technique. The next one, strands of lightning power have already been controlled by him. Faced with the demonic aura sweeping towards him, Jiang Feng directly welcomed out with the power of thunder in his hand. Pai Li Ba. In the next moment, Jiang Feng was surprised to find that when the heavenly thunder power came into contact with that strand of demonic energy, it was instantly purified into pure spiritual power. This kind of spiritual power doesn't need to be refined at all, it can be absorbed directly. Yes, the demonic energy itself is also a type of energy. After being tempered by the power of thunder, it immediately transforms into an essential spiritual power. Subsequently, Jiang Feng reacted and said, from this perspective, as long as I keep summoning the power of thunder, these magical energies will be continuously transformed into the purest spiritual power for me to absorb. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng looked at the demonic power above the Zhenhua abyss, his eyes becoming increasingly bright. He looked at the towering demonic aura as if he had discovered something and a great treasure. In the realm of cultivating immortals, the cultivation of cultivators has always emphasized the importance of wealth and land. The talent of a cultivator is certainly important, but the resources for cultivation are even more important. If there is no spiritual energy, even if your talent is high, it may be of no use. As the top cultivation sect of the righteous path, Qingyun Gate contains spiritual veins, and the spiritual energy is naturally very rich. A cultivator practicing inside naturally has a much faster speed than practicing outside. Although Zhenhua Yuan is also within the Qingyun Gate, its spiritual energy is not lacking. But due to the presence of demonic energy, the speed of cultivation is inevitably affected, which is also the reason why Nangong Mu has only been unable to break through the upper Qing realm for 400 years. But now Jiang Feng is different. He has cultivated the divine sword thunder control technique to a perfect state, and the power to drive the heavenly thunder can be said to be skillful. He can drive the power of thunder to refine the demonic energy and convert it into the purest spiritual power for himself to absorb. You should know that there are countless demons suppressed in the demon control abyss. The demonic energy inside is countless and inexhaustible. Jiang Feng possesses the means to transform the power of demons into spiritual power, and the benefits he gains from it are unimaginable. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng's eyes showed excitement. Later, he surprisingly approached the Zhenhua abyss area again. The cultivation in the middle stage of the spiritual realm naturally attracted a wave of demonic energy. But Jiang Feng remained calm in his heart. He directly operated the divine sword thunder control technique, attaching the power of the heavenly thunder to his hand, and instantly transformed that demonic energy into pure spiritual power. Great! Directly absorbing this spiritual power, Jiang Feng suddenly felt a burst of comfort. Keep working hard. Subsequently, Jiang Feng repeated his old technique and transformed several waves of demonic energy again. After absorbing these spiritual powers, Jiang Feng's cultivation seemed to have reached the peak of the mid-stage of the spiritual realm. As long as you temper a few more waves of magic energy, you may be able to break through the later stage of the spiritual realm. But after all, Jiang Feng only has spiritual cultivation in the realm of spiritual movement, and the weak spiritual power in his body cannot allow him to continue using the divine sword thunder control technique. If it weren't for Jiang Feng's cultivation of the divine sword thunder control technique to a perfect state and the fusion of the supreme sword bone, with his level of cultivation, he would not have been able to activate the divine sword thunder control technique, let alone summon the power of heavenly thunder. However, Jiang Feng was not in a hurry either. After all, the path of cultivation is not something that can be achieved overnight. Subsequently, Jiang Feng simply stopped practicing and arrived at his master Nangong Mu's cave, ready to learn some maintenance work about the demon suppression formation in the demon suppression abyss with him. Next, Nangong Mu personally took Jiang Feng to inspect and repair the formation, and also explained many details to Jiang Feng during the process. The demon suppression formation is extremely important and must not be compromised. Therefore, as the demon suppressing envoy, it is necessary to inspect and repair the demon suppressing formation daily, and record any changes in the formation. Even the intensity and time interval of daily demonic energy bursts need to be recorded. These tasks require the daily persistence of the demon suppressor, without any slackness. Jiang Feng listened very carefully to what Nangong Mu said. After all, if nothing unexpected happens, I will take over my master's position in the future and become the next demon suppressing envoy under Qingyun sect. These are all tasks that I will do every day in the future. During this period, Jiang Feng also inquired about some divine powers and techniques from Nangong Mu, and asked him for a bronze sword. This sword is called Qinghong sword, which was used by Nangong Mu when he was young. With Jiang Feng's current cultivation level, using this green rainbow sword is just right. So, the daytime time quickly passed. In the evening, Jiang Feng returned to the demon abyss and urged the divine sword thunder technique to refine his demonic energy for cultivation. This night's cultivation allowed Jiang Feng to successfully break through to the later stage of the spiritual realm. This excited Jiang Feng greatly, and in just 2 nights, his cultivation had broken through. This town of Demon Abyss is indeed a treasure trove. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Sign in to Tongtian Geng Golden Sword Technique, Ticket Request. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Sign in to Tongtian Geng Golden Sword Technique, Ticket Request. Fenger, you don't need to follow me to repair the formation today. On the 3rd day, when Jiang Feng arrived at Nangongmu cave, he suddenly heard Nangongmu say this. Ah! Master, why? Didn't you say you had to check and repair the formation every day? Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng immediately asked with some confusion. Regarding the formation matter, I will handle it myself. Today is the end of the month, go to Tongtian Peak and collect my monthly salary for this month. Nangong Mu slowly spoke to Jiang Feng. The monthly salary mentioned by Nangong Mu naturally refers to the spiritual stones extracted from the spiritual veins. Lingshi is a condensed form of spiritual energy from heaven and earth, containing extremely rich spiritual energy. Cultivators can accelerate their cultivation speed by absorbing spiritual energy from the spirit stones. As the only demon-suppressing envoy of Qingyun Gate, Nangong Mu has significant responsibilities and naturally has his own monthly salary. Moreover, with the special identity of the demon-suppressing envoy, Nangong Mu's monthly salary is much higher, almost comparable to that of the heads of various peaks. Go to Tongtian Peak to receive your monthly salary. Upon hearing Nangong Mu's words, Jiang Feng's eyes lit up instantly. He originally planned to sign on Jinhua Peak today and forget about it. Unexpectedly, there was a chance to go to Tongtian Peak. Tongtian Peak is the mountain peak where the lineage of the Qingyun sect's Daoxian Immortal is located. It is also the place where monthly salaries are paid. If you sign in there, I don't know what good things you can get. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng immediately became excited and said to Nangong Mu, I obey your orders. Speaking, Jiang Feng left Nangong Mu's cave directly. The peaks of Qingyun Gate are far apart and the mountain roads are rugged. If you walk to Tongtian Peak, it will take at least 5 days. Jiang Feng's current cultivation level is still unable to achieve sword flying. Fortunately, there is a group of spirit cranes trained in Qingyun Gate specifically for use by these disciples in the spiritual realm. Subsequently, Jiang Feng stepped onto the spirit crane on the Zhenhua Peak and headed towards the Tongtian Peak. The speed of Lingyi was very fast, and in less than an hour, Jiang Feng arrived at Tongtian Peak. After a moment, Jiang Feng arrived at a magnificent palace. Jiang Feng looked up and saw 3 big characters dancing in front of the palace gate. Tongtian Hall. This is where the disciples of Tongtian Peak reside and where they receive their monthly salary. Because today is the end of the month, there are many disciples coming to receive their monthly salary, and it can be said that there are people coming and going. Subsequently, Jiang Feng directly entered the Tongtian Palace. Along the way, he remained very low-key and did not greet anyone. After queuing up and successfully receiving his monthly salary, Jiang Feng finally thought to himself, System, sign in at Tongtian Palace. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, congratulations to the host for winning the Geng Gold Divine Sword Award. The reward has been distributed to the system space, please check it carefully. Geng Jin Shenjian Ju. Upon hearing the sound of the system, Jiang Feng was immediately overjoyed. However, there are many people here, and Jiang Feng did not choose to check the Geng Jin Divine Sword technique now. After quietly leaving Tongtian Peak, Jiang Feng returned to Zhenhua Peak and went to Nangong Mu's cave. Master, this is the monthly salary for this month. In the cave, Jiang Feng handed the monthly salary he received to Nangong Mu. You keep it for yourself, giving it to me is just a waste. However, Nangong Mu just smiled and didn't go to pick it up. Master. You. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was taken aback and then looked at Nangong Mu with complex eyes. He understood in his heart that Nangong Mu had given up. Even if he absorbed this batch of spirit stones, he didn't have the confidence to break through to the upper Qing realm. Master, don't give up until the last moment. Jiang Feng tried to persuade Nangong Mu, and he also hoped that Nangong Mu could break through to the upper Qing realm, so that his support would become stronger. Fenger, I have been persisting as a teacher for hundreds of years, and I am also tired. I don't want to persist anymore. At this moment, Nangong Mu said with a somewhat desolate expression. Upon hearing Nangong Mu's words, Jiang Feng was taken aback and his expression was also stunned. Yeah. Master, he's also tired. For a whole 400 years, I have been guarding the demon peak in this town, doing the same thing every day. How many people can tolerate such a dull and boring life? What if we break through? Still guarding the demon peak in this town, continuing to live this dry and boring life. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng decided to respect his master's choice. He took the spirit stone and turned around to walk out of Nangong Mu's cave. Perhaps, in the future, I will also be like my master, guarding Zhenhua Peak for life until I die of old age. No. Having your own check.in system will be powerful enough for you all day long. At that time, even if I had to leave, I'm afraid Qingyun Gate couldn't keep me. And, you can also find a way to eliminate the hidden danger of Zhenhua Yuan yourself. However, before possessing strong capabilities, one must still remain low-key. Late at night, Zhenhua Peak. At this moment, over the Zhenhua abyss, there was a surge of demonic energy, with black mist covering the sky. In the void, there was still a faint roar. Not far from the demon abyss, in Jiang Feng's own cave. At this moment, Jiang Feng sat cross-legged on a blue stone, with his 5 hearts facing the sky and his precious appearance solemn. And inside his body, a large amount of spiritual energy surged and flowed through his limbs and bones. On Jiang Feng's body, a fierce and extreme sword intent swept through, making one's heart palpitate. At this moment, Jiang Feng's mind was all focused on his dantian. There was a golden sword suspended in his dantian aura. This golden little sword, shining with a sharp cold light, is incredibly sharp. This is Geng Jin Sword Qi. After nearly a night of cultivation, Jiang Feng has already perfected the Geng Jin Divine Sword technique he obtained by signing in during the day. This Geng Jin Sword Qi is a symbol of the successful cultivation of Geng Jin Divine Sword technique. The Geng Gold Sword Qi contains the power of Geng Gold, which is incredibly sharp and can cut through all things, invincible. Unfortunately, at this moment, Jiang Feng's cultivation level is only in the realm of agility. If Jiang Feng's cultivation breaks through the foundation building realm and his spiritual power is converted into magic, he can condense countless Geng Jin Sword Qi and merge them into Geng Jin Sword pills. At that time, when facing enemies and sacrificing the Geng Jin Sword pill, countless Geng Jin Sword energies will permeate and cut through everything, annihilating all directions. Who? At this moment, immersed in cultivation, Jiang Feng suddenly opened his eyes, with a flash of essence in his eyes, and two sword lights shot out from them. Shoo! The sword light streaks through the space, carrying a piercing sound that is extremely fierce. At this moment, Jiang Feng's face was full of excitement. My current talent is truly a demon. In just one night, I have cultivated this powerful Geng Jin Divine Sword technique to a perfect level. Moreover, his cultivation has also made a breakthrough, reaching its peak in the later stage of the spiritual realm, and he only needs one step to break through to the great perfection of the spiritual realm. With his cultivation speed and the ability to activate the Divine Sword Thunder technique to convert demonic energy into spiritual power, he can break through to the great perfection of the spiritual realm within 2 days. At that time, he can try to build a foundation, convert his spiritual power into magic, and become a true cultivator. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Successful breakthrough of Dehulicao, seeking votes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Successful breakthrough of Dehulicao, seeking votes. After the cultivator breaks through the foundation building realm, they can fly with their swords. This is also what Jiang Feng has been looking forward to in his heart. If one breaks through the realm of foundation building, their strength will be qualitatively improved. Moreover, you can secretly fly with your sword to other places in Qingyun Gate to sign in and receive better rewards. Within 2 days, it is necessary to break through to the later stage of great perfection in the spiritual realm. Jiang Feng set a goal for himself in his heart. In fact, Jiang Feng's cultivation speed now is already very terrifying. From the beginning to now, in just 3 days, Jiang Feng has directly broken through to the later stage of the spiritual realm. This can be considered unprecedented in the history of Qingyun Gate, and there will be no future. Of course, Jiang Feng was not satisfied just like this. The cultivation in the spiritual realm is nothing in the cultivation world. Maybe someone killed me casually that day. In the following time, Jiang Feng had already planned to work harder in his cultivation. Looking at the sky, it's almost time for midnight. At this time, the demonic aura in the Zhenhua abyss should be at its strongest. Subsequently, Jiang Feng stood up directly, left the cave, and walked towards the Zhenhua abyss. Now, his cultivation has improved, and he can activate the Divine Sword Thunder technique a few more times to refine the demonic energy and absorb more pure spiritual power. In this case, his cultivation speed will be increased once again. After a moment, Jiang Feng arrived at the Zhenhua abyss. Sensing the arrival of Jiang Feng, the demonic aura above the Zhenhua abyss suddenly became violent and excited. Looking at this scene, Jiang Feng suddenly showed a hint of sneer and said, "If you have the guts, come." As he spoke, Jiang Feng approached the Zhenhua abyss once again. Suddenly, the demonic energy above the Zhenma abyss was once again excited. In the next moment, several terrifying demonic auras directly attacked Jiang Feng. According to the aura emitted by these few demonic energies, it is enough to erode and demonize ordinary cultivators in the Yuaning realm. Jiang Feng, who was proficient in the divine sword and thunder control technique, was content and fearless. He was greeted by the power of heavenly thunder in the face of several incoming demonic energies. Pai Li Pa. After coming into contact with the thunderous power in Jiang Feng's palm, a roar erupted, and the terrifying demonic powers immediately transformed into pure and ultimate spiritual powers. Jiang Feng directly operated the Geng Jin divine sword technique and absorbed this pure spiritual power into the elixir field. At the same time, the Geng Jin sword aura in Jiang Feng's Dantian Qi seat condensed a bit again, emitting even more fierce sword aura. Moreover, Jiang Feng's body emitted the Geng Jin sword qi, which also achieved a refining effect on his physical body, making it stronger. The use of the divine sword thunder control technique requires the practitioner to use their physical body to trigger the heavenly thunder, and this step undoubtedly requires a very high level of physical body. And the Geng Jin divine sword can definitely refine his physical body, which will make Jiang Feng more adept at using the divine sword thunder control technique in the future. About 2 hours later, Jiang Feng stopped practicing. After absorbing so much spiritual power, Jiang Feng could feel that he had reached the edge of breakthrough. I estimate that by doing it again, I can almost break through the spiritual realm and complete the later stage. At that time, you can try to challenge the foundation environment yourself. By the way, today's check that IN hasn't been signed yet. After returning to his own cave, Jiang Feng suddenly said, "System, continue to sign in at Zhenma Peak." Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in, congratulations to the host for obtaining Tiger Power Grass. The reward has been distributed, please check it carefully. Tiger Power Grass, a spirit grass that absorbs the essence of demon tiger's flesh and blood, has the effect of quenching the body. After taking it, you can obtain the power of a tiger. It's actually a spirit grass used to refine the body. Upon seeing the information about Tiger Power Grass, Jiang Feng was immediately surprised. The reward this time was actually a spirit grass. With the help of this Tiger Power Grass, perhaps tonight I can break through the spiritual realm and achieve great fulfillment in the later stage. After looking at the sky, Jiang Feng went directly to Nangong Mu's cave and followed him to complete today's task. Quickly, the daytime passed quickly, and after staying in the Nangong Wood cave for a while, Jiang Feng returned to his own cave. After returning to the cave, Jiang Feng eagerly took out the Tiger Power Grass and swallowed it in one gulp. Boom! The medicinal power of Tiger Power Grass is very strong. As soon as it was ingested, a strong blood qi had already flowed through Jiang Feng's limbs and bones. Roar! Vaguely, Jiang Feng felt the roar of a fierce tiger coming from within him. Subsequently, Jiang Feng felt his whole body becoming extremely hot and dry, and a sharp pain hit him all over. After an hour, the sharp pain slowly subsided. Bang! At the same time, a strong aura rose up in Jiang Feng. At this moment, Jiang Feng's eyes slowly opened and his face was filled with joy. Breakthrough! Now he has reached the stage of great fullness in the spiritual realm. The true distance to the foundation building environment is only one step away. However, this step towards building foundations is difficult to cross. In the realm of cultivation, building a foundation is considered a very important stage in a cultivator's cultivation career. Many cultivators are stuck in the late stage of the spiritual realm for life, unable to make any progress, and unable to break through to the foundation realm until death. To build a foundation, one must have years of accumulation, and it may not necessarily be successful. Of course, with the assistance of spiritual pills, the probability of breaking through the foundation building realm will be greatly increased. During this period, Jiang Feng often asked Nangong for some common knowledge about cultivation. Especially in terms of breaking through the knowledge of foundation construction. According to Nangong, when the cultivation of Qingyun sect disciples reaches the three great perfections of Yuqing realm, they can apply for a chance to take Yuqing pill. The effect of Yuqing Dan is naturally to increase the probability of breaking through the cultivation of Yuqing realm. However, this kind of pill is also precious in Qingyun sect, and each disciple only has one chance to take it. In Nangong's mouth, Jiang Feng learned that this jade clearing pill was also known as the foundation building pill outside. As a disciple of Qingyun sect and belonging to the extremely special lineage of demon suppressing envoy, Jiang Feng naturally has the opportunity to take the jade clear pill. But he has only been admitted to the Qingyun sect for a few days, and his qualifications are even inferior. In the eyes of others, he probably hasn't even entered the first level of the Yuqing realm. If you apply to take Yuqing pill at this moment, it will definitely arouse suspicion. If they find out that their cultivation has already broken through the spiritual realm and achieved great success in the later stage, they may regard themselves as spies sent by the demon cult and raise them on the spot. It seems that I can only slowly figure it out. Maybe I can sign in for some good reward that will help me break through. Shaking his head, Jiang Feng no longer thought about these things. Practicing still had to be done step by step, as rushing for quick success and instant benefits could lead to the risk of becoming possessed by demons. It's time to go to Zhenmo Abyss. After looking at the time, Jiang Feng went to Zhenmo Yuan again. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Xiaofan comes and gives Lingdan as a gift, ticket request. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Xiaofan comes and gives Lingdan as a gift, ticket request. Congratulations to the host for successfully checking in and receiving the reward spirit replenishing pill. The reward has been distributed in the system space, please check it carefully. Bu Lingdan. Taking it can forcibly stimulate a trace of spiritual power in the body. This thing doesn't seem to be useful to me. Looking at the pill in his hand, Jiang Feng felt a bit disappointed. It seemed that his luck was very bad today. Then he put the pill into the system space, and Jiang Feng walked towards Nangong's cave. These days, he has become familiar with the daily tasks he needs to do. Even if Nangong is not with him, he can still complete it independently. But in Nangong's eyes, his cultivation is low and he doesn't even trust him to go to the demon abyss alone. Ah! Help me! Jiang Feng was walking when suddenly a shout came from the void. Upon hearing the sound, Jiang Feng immediately looked up and saw a massive spirit crane in the void, as if it had lost its balance and was falling unsteadily towards the ground. In a faint moment, Jiang Feng saw a figure on the back of Lingyi. The shout just now was probably made by this figure. How could anyone come from Zhenmo Peak? Moreover, this newcomer's strength is not very good. After all, driving the spirit crane to fly at Qingyun Gate, one's cultivation level is below the third level of Yuqing realm. While Jiang Feng was puzzled in his heart, he was also curious about why the spirit crane suddenly fell. The Lingyi of Qingyun Gate has always been well trained and rarely capsizes. Just as he was puzzled, he saw a figure coming out of Nangong's cave and heading towards the fallen spirit crane. It is Nangong, the master of Jiang Feng. Obviously, Nangong also noticed the commotion outside and was ready to take action to save him. Jiang Feng was curious about the identity of the newcomer and quickly ran towards it. Nangong's speed was extremely fast. When Jiang Feng arrived, Nangong had already saved the spirit crane and the figure on its back. When Jiang Feng saw the face of the figure, he was immediately surprised. This person is actually Zhang Xiaofan. What is Zhang Xiaofan doing at Zhenmo Peak? Didn't he join Dazhu Peak? Thank you very much, Senior, for saving your life. At this moment, Zhang Xiaofan had lingering palpitations on his face and sincerely thanked Nangong. You are a disciple of that lineage, who dares to control the spirit crane to leap over the demon abyss. What a great courage! Unexpectedly, at this moment, Nangong Mu was completely ungrateful, and it was the first time Jiang Feng had seen Nangong Mu get angry. Upon hearing Nangong Mu, Jiang Feng immediately understood why the spirit crane suddenly fell. He looked at the spirit crane lying on the ground at this moment, and saw that black gas occasionally emitted from its body, and its breath was also a bit wild. Magic invasion. This spirit crane is obviously invaded by demonic energy. Zhang Xiaofan, this simple and naive person, actually drove the spirit crane through the sky above the Zhenhua abyss. With the strength of the spirit crane in this spiritual realm, how can it withstand the erosion of demonic energy? Late. Junior, it's big. Big bamboo. At this moment, Zhang Xiaofan, seeing Nangong Mu suddenly angry, felt a bit at a loss and began to stutter when speaking. Master, his name is Zhang Xiaofan and he is a disciple of Dazhu Peak. Seeing this, Jiang Feng couldn't bear to watch anymore and spoke up to help Zhang Xiaofan out. After all, Zhang Xiaofan is his own playmate who has grown up together. Good brother, Jiang Feng doesn't want to see him so embarrassed. Feng Gu. As soon as Jiang Feng spoke, Zhang Xiaofan's gaze immediately caught his attention. Helpless at this moment, Zhang Xiaofan was immediately excited when he saw his brothers playing together until they were big. He walked up to Jiang Feng excitedly and looked at him with surprise, saying, Brother Feng, why are you here? Fenger, do you know this kid? Upon seeing this scene, Nangong Mu was taken aback and immediately asked Jiang Feng. Well, master, this person's name is Zhang Xiaofan. He was a good brother who grew up with me. He joined the Qingyun gate with me a few days ago and is now Tian Shibu's disciple. Jiang Feng explained slowly. After speaking, Jiang Feng pleaded for Zhang Xiaofan and said, Master, it's the first time I've been at Xiaofan's Demon Peak. Please don't blame him, Master. Upon hearing this, Nangong Mu's face softened slightly and he looked at Zhang Xiaofan, as if he had thought of something. He spoke up and said, Your master sent you here. Did you send the 5 elements source? Yes, my master sent me to deliver the origin of the 5 elements. Upon hearing this, Zhang Xiaofan suddenly remembered his purpose of coming here and quickly took out a jade box from his arms and handed it to Nangong Mu. The origin of the 5 elements. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng immediately reacted. The origin of the 5 elements, Nangong Mu, also mentioned to him that the demon suppression formation can essentially be said to be a 5-element formation. Nowadays, in order to maintain the operation of the formation, it is necessary to join the 5-element source every month. Therefore, the 7 veins of Qingyun Gate have established rules and take turns providing the 5-element source to the demon suppression formation every month. And this month, it happened to be De Zhu Feng's turn. Seeing Nangong Mu open the jade box, Jiang Feng also walked over and saw 5 crystal stones of different colors lying quietly inside the box, emitting astonishing energy. Is this the origin of the 5 elements? Through this period of learning, Jiang Feng knows that only experts in the Shangqing realm can be able to extract the power of the origin. Well, it seems that Senior Tian's strength has improved again, and the origin of these 5 elements is extremely pure. Upon careful examination of the 5 elements in his hand, Nangong Mu was satisfied with the Tao. Later, he looked at Zhang Xiaofan and said seriously, Forget it this time. If you're so reckless again next time, you'll be punished severely. Fenger, you go give him a ride. After speaking, Nangong Mu ignored Zhang Xiaofan and headed straight towards his own cave. Yes, master. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was taken aback and immediately thought of something, responding with a surprised expression on his face. Sending Xiaofan back, wouldn't there be a chance to sign in at Dazhu Peak? As one of the 7 meridians, the reward for first sign-in at Dazhu Peak is definitely not bad. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng suppressed his excitement and walked up to Zhang Xiaofan, saying, Xiaofan, I'll take you back to Daju Peak. Well, please trouble Brother Feng. Zhang Xiaofan looked at Jiang Feng with a silly smile. Thank you, are we brothers? It's only right to help each other. Jiang Feng laughed and cursed, then took Zhang Xiaofan up to the exclusive spirit crane of Jinhua Peak and flew directly towards Daju Peak. Feng Gu, will you continue to live in Jinhua Peak? Ling He put it on his back and Zhang Xiaofan asked. Well, I will always live in Jinhua Peak from now on. Jiang Feng nodded and said. After I go back and apply to my master, let me deliver all the 5 elements origins so that I can see you frequently, Brother Feng. Zhang Xiaofan had a pure smile on his face, looking silly. Seeing this, Jiang Feng couldn't help but feel a warmth in his heart and said, okay, if there's a chance, I'll also go to Daju Peak to find you. Subsequently, Jiang Feng took out the bottle of spiritual pill from the system space and handed it to Zhang Xiaofan, saying, Xiaofan, this is the spiritual pill my master gave me, which is extremely beneficial for cultivation. Take it. This nourishing pill is of no use to oneself, it's better to give it to Zhang Xiaofan. Nowadays, Zhang Xiaofan probably hasn't even found a way to become the top player in Yuqing realm. With this bottle of nourishing spirit pill, it should be able to help him break through the first level of Yuqing realm as soon as possible. No, this is what your master gave you. Feng Gu, you should use it yourself. Upon hearing this, Zhang Xiaofan quickly refused. Jiang Feng had long anticipated that Zhang Xiaofan would refuse, so he immediately turned pale and said, I'm different from you. My master only has me as a disciple and he doesn't lack resources. Take it, otherwise he won't treat me like a brother. When Jiang Feng spoke to this extent, Zhang Xiaofan, who has always been honest, couldn't refuse. Seeing Zhang Xiaofan take the tonic pill, Jiang Feng smiled and said, Xiaofan, how are you doing at Daju Peak? How are your masters treating you? Well, my master treated me very well and even taught me how to cultivate. So, Jiang Feng and Zhang Xiaofan chatted aimlessly. Quickly, the two of them arrived at Daju Peak by riding the spirit crane. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. It's not easy to build a foundation and see the fields, seeking tickets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. It's not easy to build a foundation and see the fields, seeking tickets. Feng, the big bamboo peak is ahead. In the high altitude, on the back of the Lingyi, Zhang Xiaofan pointed to Jiang Feng in front of him. Jiang Feng looked ahead and saw a huge mountain peak, at least 4 or 5 times the size of Jinhua Peak. This is also normal, after all, Daju Peak is one of the main peaks of Qingyun Gate, and if its scale is small, it deserves the reputation of Qingyun Gate. Jiang Feng stood on top of the Lingyi, surveying the environment of Daju Peak. The buildings on Daju Peak only have a few courtyards and a dozen ordinary houses, which is much inferior to Tongtian Peak, which is also one of the 7 main peaks of Qingyun Gate. Feng, stop somewhere. Jiang Feng followed Zhang Xiaofan's designated position and slowly lowered the spirit crane, creating a large courtyard below. Jiang Feng glanced at it and saw the 3 big characters Shoujing Hall written on it. System, sign in at Dazufeng Shoujing Hall. After successfully landing, Jiang Feng immediately recited in his heart. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and obtaining the perfect foundation pill. The reward has been distributed in the system space, please check it carefully. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng was pleasantly surprised and quickly looked towards the system space. Perfect foundation pill. The most perfect existence among foundation pills, can build a foundation 100% after taking it. Lying trough. This cow batch. After seeing the attributes of the perfect foundation pill, Jiang Feng was immediately overjoyed. I was just about to break through the foundation building realm, but I didn't expect the system to reward me with the perfect foundation building pill. Moreover, this perfect foundation pill can guarantee 100% success in foundation construction. I didn't expect to have such a harvest this time. It seems that there will be more opportunities to come to Daju Peak in the future. Master, sister, I'm back. Over there, as soon as Zhang Xiaofan landed, he shouted towards the yard. Soon, footsteps could be heard in the yard. It's old Seven back. Xiaofan has returned. In Jiang Feng's gaze, several figures gradually walked out of the yard. The 6 young men walking ahead are either tall or short, fat or thin. 6 men followed a little girl, who was carved in powder and made of jade, with delicate eyebrows and eyes. Her bright and watery eyes were extremely agile and lovable. After reading the original work, Jiang Feng could naturally guess the identities of these people. These 6 young people, like Zhang Xiaofan, are the personal disciples of Tianlei, the first disciple of Daju Peak. They are Song Darren, Wu Dai, Zhengdali, Hidaji, Lv Daxin, and Du Bishu. And this little girl should be Tianlinger, Tianbai's precious daughter. Xiaofan, have you come back? Tianlinger ran excitedly to Zhang Xiaofan, but saw the unfamiliar Jiang Feng and immediately asked, Xiaofan, who is he? Jiang Feng. At this moment, the eldest son Song Dai looked at Jiang Feng and said directly, Jiang Feng, why did you come here? Are you also here to worship our Daju Peak? That day, Song Dai was also in the Sanqing Hall and saw with his own eyes the sect leader Dao Xian taking Jiang Feng away. He suddenly appeared here today, which inevitably gave him some suspicion. Okay. Do I have to have more junior brothers again? And when Tianlinger heard this, she immediately clapped her hands and cheered. Jiang Feng looks similar in age to him, and Tianlinger has developed a great interest in him. That senior sister, Fenggu already has a master. At this moment, Zhang Xiaofan interrupted everyone's speculation with a loud voice. Immediately after, Zhang Xiaofan explained the reason why Jiang Feng came here again. I see, junior brother Jiang is now under the tutelage of master uncle from the South Palace of Zhenhua Peak. Thanks to junior brother Jiang taking care of my 7th son this time. After listening to Zhang Xiaofan's account, everyone understood the truth of the matter, and the boss Song Dai immediately thanked Jiang Feng. Senior brother Song, you're welcome. Xiaofan is my brother who grew up, and this is what I should do. Upon hearing this, Jiang Feng smiled and said without any concern. After a pause, Jiang Feng spoke again and said, I wonder if Master Tian is inside. Jiang Feng visited Daju Peak for the first time and hasn't said hello to Master Tian yet. After reading the original work, Jiang Feng knew that Tianbai loved face and didn't say hello to him. If he came to Dazufeng again in the future, he might not be well liked by him. My master is inside. Come on, I'll take you inside. After speaking, Song Dai led Jiang Feng into the small courtyard. Soon, Jiang Feng followed Song Dai into the courtyard and in a large hall, he saw the short and chubby Taoist Tianbai. Beside Tianbai sat a dignified, elegant, and beautiful woman, who was none other than Tianbai's wife Su Ru. Under the Zhenhua Peak South Palace Immortal seat, Jiang Feng has met Tian Shibua and Su Shibua. As the two walked forward, Jiang Feng bowed to them. Well, I heard your conversation just now. Could you please take my 7th son back this time? What Tianbai said naturally refers to Zhang Xiaofan's affairs. This is what the younger generation should do, and after hearing the beautiful scenery of Daju Peak, the younger generation has long wanted to see it. This time, they happened to come by the way. Jiang Feng said with a sincere tone, bowing down. Upon hearing this, Su Ru pursed her lips and smiled gracefully, saying, You're such a good talker. Since you like Daju Peak, let Xiaofan accompany you to stroll around it later. In Su Ru's view, Jiang Feng's fate before her was very pitiful. As is well known, once you join the Zhenhua Peak, you will have to stay there for the rest of your life without any freedom. Your master, have you been doing well lately? At this moment, Tianlei looked at Jiang Feng and also asked. In fact, at Qingyun Gate, the person with the best relationship with Nangong Mu is none other than Tianlei. Back then, Tianlei and Nangong Mu were like Zhang Xiaofan and Jiang Feng today. Both of them were due to poor talent, one was assigned to the Daju Peak and the other to the Jinhua Peak. Qingyan is not easily introverted in his talent, but later burst out and his strength gradually improved, breaking through the Shangqing realm in one fell swoop. Finally, Su Ru, who was still holding her, returned home and has now become the first peak of Daju Peak. And what about Nangong Mu? I have been guarding Jinhua Peak for almost 400 years. He spent almost all of his life on Jinhua Peak. Master, you are in good health, and I have the care of Master Lao. Jiang Feng whispered. Take good care of your master. His time is running out. At this point, Tianlei's expression became somewhat desolate. Seeing this, Jiang Feng was a bit puzzled. Is this Tianlei related to his master? Xiaofan, take Jiang Feng for a good stroll. Su Ru saw that Tianlei was in a bad mood and immediately spoke up. Then I'll take leave first. Jiang Feng nodded and followed Zhang Xiaofan out of the room. What, are you worried about junior brother Nangong? After Jiang Feng and Zhang Xiaofan left, Su Ru looked at Tianlei and asked softly. Tianlei took a deep look at his wife, slowly turned his head, and looked at the green bamboo in the garden, which gradually withered and turned yellow as winter approached. Unconsciously lost in thought. After a while, he suddenly said, let's go see him at Jinhua Peak in a few days. If we don't see him again, maybe we won't see him again in the future. Su Ru looked at him with a slight smile on her lips and said, okay, I'll accompany you. After Jiang Feng and Zhang Xiaofan left the yard, they chatted with Zhu Feng and others again. After getting familiar with each other, Jiang Feng directly drove the spirit crane away from Zhu Feng. With today's release, it is natural for me to come to Dazhufeng to sign in openly under the name of Zhang Xiaofan in the future. End of this chapter.